Everybody. I guess I'm live now. Let's give it a second for everybody to just kind of generate a little. Allison Solar is alive. I'm alive. Yes. How you guys doing today? Just a little bit of a touch in that I wanted to see. I got my LinkedIn notification on my Apple Watch. I love my Apple Watch. I think it's so cool. It reminds me when to stand up, working from home. And I'm working in the basement, so I'm like cold today. So I have my little vest on. But working from home, um, it's I have to stay focused on everything that I'm doing, and I forget what I was going to say about that. Whatever. I wanted to talk today about the design intensive program I have. Now, getting a lot of questions, people asking, is it for this? Is it for that? Can I do this? Can I do that? This is what the kitchen and bath design intensive entails. It is a basic foundation of where to start to understand kitchen and bathroom design processes. You have to be in the business. You should have an understanding of drafting. You should have an understanding of color and lighting. All of the basic premises for design, you should already have um, gotten education on or learned of, taken a certificate program or something. This is not for the homeowner. This is for interior designers who get involved with kitchen design and bathroom design, but they get involved as an afterthought. They get involved because they might be doing the living room and the customer says, "Oh, you have such great taste. Let's tackle the bathroom. Let's tackle the kitchen together." Now, if you've ever heard me talking and you know my spiel, it's that a living room and a dining room, bedroom, hospitality, uh, hotels, they all have their own specialty, as does kitchens and bathroom design. You might be good with color, you might know the understanding of lighting, but what are the principles of proper kitchen design? How do I go about understanding what my clearances are? What are my landing spaces? My first two classes have something to do with the National Kitchen and Bath Association's guidelines. Now, these are based on their guidelines that I use in my business for 30 years, that are the most important to know when you're designing. They are the basics for designing a kitchen, what your clearances should be between an island and the oven. What do I need to think about when opening my refrigerator door? So the basics of that, walking areas, hallways, we get involved in the bathroom with the materials, with the clearances in front of the toilet, in front of the shower, stepping out of the shower, the lighting, proper materials for those specific rooms, kitchens and bathrooms. A lot of the material intertwines with each other. We use tile in kitchens, we use tile in bathrooms. We use plumbing in kitchens, we use plumbing in bathrooms. We use wood in the kitchen, we use wood in the bathrooms. So, cabinetry, fixtures. So, there's that crossover between the two. So, it's a study of kitchen design and bathroom design together. Again, I'll go over the basic guidelines. How high should you put your sconces? What is the distance? What about that light over the bathtub that everybody does? What are the proper lighting ratings? What is waterproof? What is water resistant? What are the differences in those materials? Then I'll talk about lighting, the principles of lighting. First the basics of lighting, because lighting is so complicated that you have special lighting designers out there. You can't imagine lighting up Madison Square Garden with Susie Q Designs. So they all have their specialties. Now, when it comes to lighting, you have to understand the principles of the lighting pertaining to a kitchen design and a bathroom design. a lot of what goes on in the kitchen and the bathroom is task. So your task lighting, the most of your time is spent in the kitchen. We're always in the kitchen. So how does the lighting affect our eyes? How does it make the cabinet look? What is the proper terminology that you're using when you're standing in with the electrician? About your different under-counter lighting, interior lighting, lighting switches, all the things pertaining to lighting. And how do you um, design it and put it onto paper? So we're learning the principles of kitchen design, the principles of bathroom design, the principles of lighting, and then how to actually create and implement and do a lighting plan. Again, it's just a suggested lighting plan because we're working to things. We don't know where the studs are, we don't know where the beams are, we don't know where everything is. It's always a suggested lighting plan. Then we're going to learn about the different surfaces. There's so many different materials to know. So are you doing quartz? People are saying, "Oh, it's Carrara marble quartz." Well, is it marble or is it a quartz? Well, because quartz is man-made. I mean, you do have quartz stone, white quartz, which is an actual stone, but we refer to the man-made stones as quartz because it has a lot of quartz inside of them, but it's still man-made. It's not marble. So people are confusing what is marble, what is quartz, what is quartzite, what is granite, what is porcelain, what is ceramic, what are the different things with Decton, how we're using the different tiles, the materials out there, some Wilson art, solid surface materials. There's so much out there that it's good to be educated on what is the basics of what they mean. How do they translate? I saw something yesterday on somebody said I had I had a quartz countertop, cream of marble quartz countertop. Well, cream of marble is marble, okay? Marble has veining, and no marble is solid. There's no like unless it's no marble is solid. A granite, you might get like a black absolute granite, but for the most part, they have speckles in it. And even black absolute has some little tiny quartzes in it. When you get it at certain angles, it will shimmer. So they were talking about cream of marble, but apparently they called it quartz, and they didn't know that cream of marble is a marble. And if that's quartz, that looks exactly like cream of marble does. But because they're not educated, that designer, they're proposing a question: is this normal? So I want to let you understand what is normal, what to expect, what are the properties that come with each product. Then we're going to talk about the paperwork. We've got paperwork involved in selling a job, in having customers sign it. How do you propose and sell your project to somebody? What is the paperwork they need to sign off on? You'd be surprised how many companies don't really teach you that. You just go, here, sell a kitchen. And you go, well, what do I need? What kind of paperwork do I have? What do they sign? These are legal documents. These are clauses and contracts and legal documents that need signatures. So you have to understand the proper documentation and giving the paperwork to the other professionals so that they can implement your design, because it's all up in your head. You're translating it to drawings, and from drawings it needs to be installed. You're not just placing a couch in an area where you can switch the space a little bit. No, if that fits in that 110 inches, it's got to fit 110 inches. So we talk about aligning things, walls out of plumb, and proper designing, how to label, how to order, how to go about selling your project. So let me just share, make sure that I have covered everything that's in. So we're going to talk about the kitchen design guidelines, the bathroom design guidelines. We're going to be talking about the kitchen and bathroom lighting. Again, the proper lighting for kitchens is all different kinds of under counter lighting and the recessed lighting and different lighting, pendant lights that go in to a kitchen. And then we're going to do that lighting plan. A lot of designers fall short when it comes to a lighting plan. But when you're doing a kitchen, they're not removable. You're not taking a lamp and putting it here. They're getting built in, they're getting hardwired or removable, whatever. There's things that need to go on behind the walls so that you can have the project end up properly. So you need to know how to document your kitchen and bathroom lighting plan. Very important. Again, the tiles, the stones, the different surfaces. What are all these different things and how do they relate and what are their properties and how do we choose what's the best for our client's situation? And as a designer, you always need to be able to explain these things to your client. So knowledge is power, and knowing what you're talking about is paramount to anything. Then we're going to talk about my favorite course is on the construction standards. What is particle board? What is plywood? How do they finish? What does it mean catalytic converter? What does it mean thermofoil? What does it mean cherry wood? What does it mean? Is cherry a wood or is it a stain? You get some people say, oh, it's a cherry stain. No, cherry is a wood and the stain might be called fireside, or it could be called uh traditional burgundy. It could be called whatever, but the wood is cherry. So getting the lingo proper and knowing how to distinguish your cabinet construction when you are helping your client choose out cabinetry and when you are designing. How does it differ to design with a frameless cabinet versus a framed cabinet? What is a framed and a frameless? What is an inset? So often I get designers relying on contractors, and contractors only know so much. They know how to put things in. Okay. If I want to know how to install something, I'm going to call my contractor. I'm not going to call my contractor to tell me how to design something or what is the best material, because he's just installing things and he's leaving, or he knows or she knows that this brand of tile is going to be a better, more uh even, it's going to be consistent, or that brand of tile, that tile is going to be all different sizes and very confusing, or that cabinet's going to be very racked in transportation. So understanding these things and how it relates to the end product of this beautiful kitchen that you bought about. And then we're going to talk about the plumbing, the different plumbing things. There's so many different plumbing things when it comes to kitchens and when it comes to bathrooms. You've got your different finishes, you've got your different widespreads, you've got your sprays, you've got your motion centers, you've got your in the wall mount toilets, you've got so many products out there. So we're just going to focus on kitchens and bathrooms and the appliances, how to read appliance specs and where you get them, why it's important to have them, and putting your packet together to give to your electrician and your contractor, your plumber, and everybody else. So putting your packet together. Then we're going to put all of that information and putting it in a document and all the paperwork that needs to go along with selling and managing a project. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this design intensive. Now, you do not have to be just a beginner, but if you're an advanced kitchen and bath designer, you don't need this course. If you're an advanced kitchen and bath designer, you're going to know most of this stuff. Although can always learn something new every day, right? But this is really for your entry level to intermediate designers. Okay. I'm getting things in my group saying, oh, how do I put my packet together to sell? Nobody told me what to do. Well, do you even know what papers and how to prepare them and what is the proper drafting methods for kitchen design and bathroom design. For instance, kitchen design and bathroom design, we work in inches, inches only. We do not say 2 feet 3 inches. It's 27 inches. How we count in increments of 3. How are the standard sizes of cabinets? Where do they come out with the pricing? What paperwork must the customer sign that I can get my check? How do I make sure that I'm covered, my liability is covered when the construction starts? So all of these things are a basic understanding to beginning to intermediate is going to raise your level of what you understand with kitchen design. And if you're confused about any of this, I'm going to clarify everything for you. So it's a 60-minute classes and followed with a 15-minute Q&A. It starts on June 6th. It's going to be running once a week for 8 weeks. I think we have 4th of July in there that we're taking a vacation week on. But other than that, I want to just get the 6 weeks one and done. They will be recorded. You will get a copy to your email sent to you so you can replay it. There are PDFs to download along with every single lesson. And any questions that you have or answer, I'm available for you through the whole course anytime via email. You can ask me any question you want regarding anything, except your personal stuff. I don't do personal. That you need a different kind of course for that. So, I and then the next thing I'm getting questions for, let me just stop this share. The other thing I'm getting asked for is like, how do I go about designing this space? How do I approach this kitchen? Well, I'm putting together a bonus class uh, based on what people are asking me for that would be more towards an intermediate to advanced or beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever. We're going to talk about how we come up with that concept of designing our kitchen. How do we figure it out? How do we do that plan? How do we come up with a floor plan? How do we pick out the cabinets? What do I put in there? We're going to talk about all of that so that when you start to design your new project and you have that kitchen coming up and you go to talk to the countertop people, you're going to be able to know what they're talking about and say, wait a minute, you called that quartz, but isn't that man-made? And then you're going to find out. And if it's man-made, what's the brand? Because they're made. They have a manufacturer's brand. Like Cosentino is a brand. Decton is a brand. Caesar Stone is a brand. Cambria is a brand. But what are they all? I'll explain the differences between them. Um, we're getting a lot of new surfaces in the business, a lot of new materials coming out there, and a lot of great opportunity to push the boundaries if you know the basics. If you know the basics, you can push those boundaries. And designers, I love to push the boundaries. And when someone tells me no, I'm always like, no. Well, why can't I? And if you tell me I can't and I think I can, then I'm going to see if I can. So let's see if I have anybody asking me any questions anywhere. I don't even know if I'm showing up. Let's see. If I'm on, can anybody see me? If I'm having any questions, I don't even know. I can't figure it out. There's too many buttons. Too many buttons with all that. So anyway, that's the deal with the kitchen and bath design intensive. It's a really great program, and I've had nothing but success with it. I'm running it again, revamping my PowerPoint presentations to clean them up a little bit, make them, it's always time to redo your graphics and time to redo everything. So I'm updating them. The kitchen and bath design standards. I go by steadfast and true. There's some new guidelines that don't make sense to me, and I don't think they pertain to the majority. So my course is geared to the majority, to what is the norm, to what is the industry norm. I have 30 plus years of working in the business. And how come I know all this stuff is because I took a lot of educational courses along my career. I graduated with a degree in interior design from FIT in New York, but I had to learn kitchen and bath design. A lot of my courses were given through the Home Depot back in the day in the 90s when they did a lot of product knowledge training. And I took some NKBA classes along the way that, again, I've used some of the things from NKBA that hold true for my career. And that's what I am telling everybody about, because listen, I worked for Home Depot in one of the biggest stores on Long Island. The Jericho store was one of the busiest in the kitchen department. Okay. I don't understand. You don't know Home Depot until you've worked in New York. I mean, we have a Home Depot within 2 miles of each other. I mean, it's just huge business. And I sold, when I started out selling kitchens, I designed 2, 3, 4, 5 kitchens a day. Okay, we sold thousands of kitchens a week. Home Depot had major training behind its designers. When I worked at the Expo Design Center, again, their training and how they taught me to put together my paperwork, to put together the documentation. I owe it all to these big corporations that did the training. I don't know that they do it now, but I'm taking the valuable information that I learned through my career and bringing it to you. I also owned my own showroom. I had a construction business and a kitchen showroom business. Mine. It wasn't my parents. My parents didn't hand it to me. It wasn't my husband involved, my family. It was me. So I learned the hard way. And to know is to do. And I did it. I learned it. And what's the point of me learning all these things if I'm going to not share them and share my knowledge? I mean, I learned so much over the time and my decades of work through trial and error. One thing you need to know is the kitchen business and the bathroom business, a lot of money in the kitchen business. But when you make a mistake, that's an expensive mistake, because these are more than likely built to order. Even if they're semi-custom, they're built. And a mistake is thousands and thousands of dollars. One cabinet could end up costing you $1,000 to $2,000 to replace because of the finish on the door, because of the wood that was used, and because you're shipping only one cabinet, and you've got to make sure that one cabinet gets to the job site all in good condition and not in a million pieces because you sent it by common carrier. So there's a lot of things that go into why things happen, how they happen, and what's important to know. So all of my experience through owning my own company, through running a construction business, being a project manager, dealing with electricians, plumbers, contractors, job sites, new construction. I worked on a multi thousands of dollars, multi unit luxury housing project here on Long Island. I worked on a couple of them. So through my years of working, I've gathered all this information and all this knowledge. And through all of my education with Home Depot and through Expo and all the other companies, and through my networking that I've done, through continuing education courses. So I kind of put it all together in a cohesive 8-week program, because I don't want to see my designer friends put a filler in the wrong spot where it doesn't belong. And all I see is a filler in the middle of the run and it doesn't belong there. But the designer doesn't know it doesn't belong there because she's not a kitchen and bath designer. She relied on the kitchen and bath designer, and necessarily they don't even know what they're doing because it depends on the education that they have had prior to becoming a kitchen and bath designer. Okay, so I learned interior design and I learned kitchen and bath design, and now I'm teaching it. So 30 some odd years, I can't, and I constantly learn, right? We also have the new material. There's new material all the time I turn around. Every time you turn around, there's new electronic devices for the kitchen and then for the bathroom. And customers are saying, I want everything touchless. Well, what does that entail? How do I get it? What are the finishes? All these different things that pertain to kitchen and bathroom design. So if you want to learn and get to be better at what you do, or you want to start tackling kitchen and bath design, but you're afraid, you don't know where to start, you don't want to commit to something like NKBA right away because maybe that's going to be too much. It's for certification and you don't necessarily need or want the certification. There's a lot of controversy with the certification. As far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as bad education, but certification has its controversy. I'm not here to get you certified. I'm here to get you to be a good kitchen and bath designer, regardless of whether you're certified or not. Because the certification is only a piece of paper. But if you can't do what you're supposed to do because you don't have the knowledge, that piece of paper doesn't have knowledge. You have knowledge, and knowledge is power. And I'm into knowledge. Gain the knowledge, get the power, be in charge of your projects, and know what the heck you're talking about, so that when you talk to your contractor and he starts trying to show off to you, or he starts trying to explain something to you that you just don't grasp, you don't want to look like you don't understand. I mean, if you don't understand, it's always better to say, I don't understand. Can you please explain that to me? Than it is to just let him ramble on or them ramble on and you not understand. If you made a mistake, raise your hand and say, I made a mistake. Why? I'm not perfect. Always asking to learn, asking questions, and getting knowledge. I'm about spreading all this freaking knowledge I have up here in kitchens. It's hard for anyone to pull a fast one over on me because I know the business inside and out, literally. This is the same cabinetry that I had in my kitchen showroom. I had once upon a time. I had a 1,500 square foot showroom that I ran in Williston Park, New York, and I did a lot of business until we had a recession. And then I had a depression. And because it's just me, there was a lot of things that I made mistakes on. And luckily, we have the internet nowadays, so we can learn and YouTube and everything else. So anyway, my classes are live. My classes are one-on, with the group. And then if you have questions that you want to ask me one-on-one, you can always email me and I'll get in touch with you. But basically they are live and they're not pre-recorded, but you will get copies of everything. So if you don't have time to join the class, you just will get the replay and can pop in there and see the replay and ask any questions via email that you may have. So I've gotten some designers to really understand and really be able to process the kitchen and bathroom project as seamlessly as possible. And you need to know this even if you don't order kitchen cabinets. If you're not the one doing the ordering, I don't really care. You need to know this, regardless. If you want to order the kitchen, that's a whole nother class, okay? Because the paperwork and everything, it's very, very complicated. I'm working on a kitchen right now in Brooklyn that I know that the vendor made mistakes, because there's no reason that should have happened unless that happened. And the only reason that happened is because that happened. So they could tell the customer anything they want, but you want to show me your paperwork and I'll point out exactly what was wrong. So anyway, that's what I know. That's what I do. That's my knowledge. This is who I am. That's my class. Kitchen and Bath Design Intensive program. It is necessary for you to advance your career in kitchen and bath design. If you have little, no knowledge, if you have no knowledge, the only way you gain knowledge is take a freaking class. Is it going to be over your head? I don't think so. I don't think anything I teach is impossible to learn. If you are capable of learning something, you will learn it. So I'm not a rocket scientist here, but I'm not sending a rocket to the moon. We're just designing kitchens and bathrooms. And it gets done all day long, every single day, 24/7 around the world. People are redoing the kitchens and redoing the bathrooms. The two most important rooms in your house, the two most important room in the house for resale value and for investment into your property. So you want to help your customer make the right investment. Okay. That is what the Kitchen and Bath Design Intensive is all about. Keep an eye out in your email and on social media for registration, which is now open. It's a great deal for this program, and I'm really excited to teach. I love teaching. I love sharing what I know, and I love answering. So, in that case, I'm going to let you guys go. Check out some more information on it. Ask me questions if you have. Please don't hesitate to DM me or PM me or email me or poke me or whatever it is that you need to do to get me to answer your questions. I'll be happy to do so. So anyway, listen guys, have a great day and I will talk to you soon.